Check out today's piece of fan art. We've got a fun sketch of my favorite anime character, Artoria Pendragon from Fate's Stay Night. That's right, I said Artoria, not Ultria. Nasu's a nutcase. Thank you so much. Welcome back to Otaku Daikun. Daichan here. It's pretty obvious, but we all have different tastes when it comes to what's cool or attractive. If you think of a stereotypical supermodel, you'll find women who are slim and fit, but oftentimes for men, it's all about the muscles. Well, women have muscles too, and it just so happens that anime is really amazing at showing it. The muscle girl is a special category of waifu that embraces women as strong and active instead of frail and vulnerable. Of course, anime has tons of strong female characters, but muscle girls take it to a new level by truly celebrating and glorifying when women push their bodies to the max. It's really not something you see every day. Muscle bros in anime are a dime a dozen, but the women in anime really have to pump some serious iron to bulk up. Today, I'm here to shine a spotlight on 31 of my favorite muscle girls. Now, there are some examples that I feel are either really exaggerated or totally unflattering, using buff chicks for comedic effect or shock value. The ones you'll see here aren't in order of value. Rather, each and every one of them makes those muscles look good on totally awesome characters. Y'all know I love Mordred, right? No surprise. One major contribution to that is her chiseled figure. The Knight of Treachery isn't exactly ripped, but her toned physique perfectly matches her tomboy personality. She's got strength with attitude. Following on the Fate train, we've got Quetzalcoatl, the Aztec god who, in addition to loving humans, knows how to lay the beat down with some lucha libre wrestling. Again, she's not the most swole woman on this list, but when she's in action, her musculature is undeniable. The real star from Fate Grand Order, of course, is Penthesilea, the Amazon who wants nothing more than to clobber Achilles into next week. She hates being called beautiful, seeing it as a blight on her strength as a warrior. But it's pretty clear none of us see the two as mutually exclusive. I'll refrain from commenting though, considering what happened to Daikun last time he sang her praises. More recently, Penth has met her muscled match with the introduction of Zenobia, Queen of the Palmyrene Empire. She was once called the most beautiful woman in the East, with a finely tempered physique developed from hunting and horse riding. Her gravest tragedy came from being humiliated by Emperor Aurelian, who bound her in golden chains and forced her to walk in front of his carriage. She fights to overcome that humiliation, and I totally support her in that. Another brave woman who has to overcome adversity is the aggressive Casca from Berserk. After suffering abuse in her past, Casca established herself as a talented leader and warrior for the Band of the Hawk. While her loyalty to Griffith is ultimately and horrifically betrayed, that in no way invalidates her as a remarkable fighter. Overcoming a similar fate is the gunslinger Revi from Black Lagoon. Having to fend for herself in a lawless society has led her to become a ruthless and brutal mercenary. Her body reflects this rough lifestyle, which is a testament to her no-holds-barred attitude. Circumstances, for better or worse, have shaped her into a certified badass. On a lighter note, we've got the NK, or Natural Killer Cell, from the anime Cells at Work. As a lymphocyte tasked with combating cancer cells and viruses, it's totally appropriate for her to be portrayed as a muscle-bound beauty. She's strong, but doesn't sacrifice the speed she needs to travel to various tissues. Anime isn't just limited to television shows and movies, it also includes video games. One of the most iconic gaming icons is Street Fighter's Chun-Li, an Interpol officer who travels the world fighting against war crimes and terrorism. Her weapon of choice? Kung Fu, mostly fueled by her powerful thighs. The amount of muscle she has varies between adaptations, but in every one, she's more than ready to kick the crap out of her opponents. From the SNK side of things, there's Leona Heidern, the silent soldier from King of Fighters. She's a soldier for the Ikari Warriors team who struggles to express herself outside of combat. Her greatest battle is against herself, though, as she fears having her Orochi blood compel her to hurt people she cares about. She fights to harness this power as her own strength. The same franchise also gives us Blue Mary, or Marlene Mary Ryan. She's a fighter who takes after her late lover Butch, who was tragically killed while working for the Secret Service. Mary takes the sambo fighting she learned from him and uses it to defend herself as a freelance detective. Needing almost no introduction is Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII. Growing up in the small town of Nibelheim, she was taught to fight by her master Zangan. After Sephiroth torched the town, she found herself living in the Midgar slums as a part of Avalanche, a terrorist organization trying to protect the planet. Tifa's as strong as she is feminine, never seeing a reason to separate the two. The Senran Kagura series brings us Daidouji, an absolutely abtastic kunoichi who previously graduated from Hanzo Academy. For as intimidating as she is, she's mostly occupied training to overcome her rival Rin, treating her victory as her true graduation exam. B, or Saito as she's known in Japan, is the gym leader for fighting types in Pokemon Shield. She comes from a family lineage of practicing karate in the Galar region. A prodigy in this style, she often trains hand-to-hand with her own Pokemon. And while she can't put her techniques to use in an actual Pokemon battle, such training has tempered her stoicism so she doesn't buckle under pressure. B has a love for sweets that she often can't embrace because of all the attention from her fans. Both she and Nessa really make Sword and Shield valuable to the franchise, at least as far as lore is concerned. Now, I don't play Epic 7, but as soon as I saw Lena, I knew she had to be in this list. Despite being born into a family of sorcerers, Lena shows far more interest in martial arts, honing the fighting skills taught to her by the wandering fighter Hatan. From her build alone, I can definitely say she made the right choice. Fire Emblem Fates, a game that deserves an uncensored Switch remake. Since I haven't played its first release, I missed out on Rinka, the stoic daughter of the Fire Tribe's chieftain. This washboard bastion of badassery earned her body through a constant dedication to bettering her combat skills. She's always training and finds most of her social interaction coming from challenges and duels. She's definitely the strict type, and for some, that's a huge plus. Oh, and let's not forget about the bounty hunter, Samus Aran from Metroid. She may spend most of her time in an armored suit, but we've seen on various occasions that years of being a badass will put some muscle on ya. This is best observed with the character Zero Suit Samus in the Super Smash Bros. Games, the latest of which gave special attention to her abs. If only you could see more of this in her mainline games. Obviously from the intro, I'm very much a fan of how heavy are the dumbbells you lift. But if I were forced to choose just one woman from that entire story, it'd be Ayaka Uehara, the tan tomboy who sculpts her beautiful bod through boxing. At first, she was kind of forced into the practice by her father, but she ultimately found herself enjoying it. It makes sense when you consider she's a fan of gaming, often frequenting an arcade after school. Hell yeah! Continuing with the sports theme, there's also Jun Uehara from Iwakakiru Sport Climbing Girls. From early childhood, she's been in love with climbing, and her dedication to the sport shows in her incredible physique. In fact, she takes the sport so seriously, she often loses sight of the enjoyment she first had from it, and needs to be reminded from time to time that climbing is, in fact, fun. In a very similar situation, we have Nagisa Aragaki from Hanebado. At first, I didn't really think of badminton as a power sport, but damn does Nagisa prove me wrong. Her style is mostly offensive, specializing in jumping smashes. Her confidence in this shatters when she suffers a humiliating defeat against her rival Ayano. This makes her doubt her skill, and ultimately, develop a more balanced strategy. But damn, look at the detail they put into these shots! Muscles ahoy! Major Frolitia Capistrano is the commanding officer of the 37th Mobile Maintenance Battalion in the anime Heavy Object. As the daughter of a noble family, she was used as a bargaining tool for political marriages since childhood. To escape this, she joined the military at age 13 and worked her way up to becoming a major. While her duties are mostly administrative, there's no doubt she's got the brawn to back up her bark. And when it comes to raw strength, she outperforms the men who serve under her command. Among the giant clan in Seven Deadly Sins, Matrona is a former warrior chieftain who would often take jobs as a mercenary. She would mentor Diane and Dolores, pushing them through strict training to become strong giantess fighters. Sadly, her strength made her a prime target for the weak-willed Ganon of the Leona's Holy Knights. Under the guise of a job, Ganon trapped Matrona and struck her leg with a poisonous bolt. To survive, she had her leg amputated, but even with such a handicap, she still proves to be as ripped as ever. Aisha Clan from the classic anime Outlaw Star is a former officer of the Capistrano Empire. Despite graduating with honors and earning the rank of officer in the military, an arrogant failure led to her losing that rank and tasked with the vague mission of discovering the galactic lane line. Angry at Gene Starwind and his crew for getting her stranded, she fights with an over-aggressive, near-berserker strength as both a muscular humanoid and in her more ferocious cat form. Out of luck and money, she winds up traveling with Gene on several occasions, essentially joining the Outlaw Stars crew. Thanks to your suggestions on Twitter, I'm even adding some examples that are currently manga exclusive. The first is Natsuro Ishiro from the mixed martial arts series Teppu. Natsuro is an athletically gifted girl who excels in almost everything she does, and as such, finds herself lonely and bored. Despite trying to impress her brother, her skill actually wound up alienating him. Regardless, she thrives in the ring, overcoming her opponents in a way you'd see more often in male-centric stories. So, I took one look at Captain Mizuki and immediately knew she was the best thing about One Punch Man. Sadly, she isn't in the anime yet, but that won't stop me from gushing about her here. She's a B-class professional hero who got her roots as a famous track and field champion, and as such, her fighting techniques are all themed around the sport. Since the story often glorifies burly dudes, I'm glad to see a kick-ass female fighter among the roster. Give me another season, please! Mikage Sharaku is a cool yet mostly obscure character from Durarara's second season 10. Growing up under intense physical training with her brothers, Mikage is a tomboy who learns a living as a martial arts instructor, though it wasn't exactly by choice. A problematic history with a former crush, Izaya Uehara, caused her to drop out of high school and enter the family business. Regardless, she seems to have her reasons and doesn't take crap from anyone. From the anime Jormungand, we have Valmei, also known as Sofia Velmer. She's a former member of the Finnish Rapid Deployment Force and now serves as a bodyguard for Koko Hekmatyar. She came from a Finnish military family and worked hard to reach her position, even enduring potential survivor's guilt after losing all her men in an operation in Africa. This nearly ended her career until she joined Koko's squad, hoping to one day avenge her fallen comrades. Her dedication to Koko goes beyond formality, as she's clearly in love. These tender feelings do nothing to dull her skills as an officer, and she remains a master at knife combat. She's admired by her male colleagues, but won't hesitate to put them in their place if they push their luck. A list like this wouldn't be complete without Maki Ozei from Fire Force. She's the unit leader of Tokyo's Special Fire Force Company 8, holding the nickname Witch Queen. Prior, she was a private in the Tokyo Army, training herself much harder than most other soldiers. Thus, while she has crazy powers as a pyrokinetic, she still has a solid physical build to rely on. Similarly, her strength is paired with an equally powerful compassion for her teammates. Gotta burn some muscle! One character I discovered while researching this video is Tsubame Kamui from Our Maid is Way Too Annoying. A history as a pilot in the Japan Self-Defense Forces has led her to becoming unimaginably ripped by the age of 30. She left the service when an illness took her right eye, and in pursuit of a new career, she fell back on her admiration of young girls, whom she calls angels. Would you look at that? A lesbian lolicon. Tsubame becomes infatuated with Misha Takanashi and protects her as a family maid. Tsubame is a bit too overprotective and bothersome, given her desire to eventually marry her young client. I haven't seen this anime personally, but she's on this list for that rockin' bod. Just keep that in mind. Another absolute must on this list is Jalen De Doldia from the currently airing anime Mushoku Tensei. She's a sword king of the beast race who, after leaving her home village of Doldia, learned from a wandering swordsman and joined Paul Greyrat's Fangs of the Black Wolf Party. Having never properly learned to read or write, she fell victim to various scams, leaving her weak and malnourished, until being taken in by Eris's family as a bodyguard and sword instructor. In that, she is absolutely fantastic. Even as a beast, she's got more muscles than her brother, and it's nice to see her break out of the strong equals stupid stereotype by studying under Rudius. She'll definitely go down as one of the best muscle girls in anime. A personal favorite for me, however, is Yukina from the underrated Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Despite being a trainee, she takes control of driving the Kotetsujo through an emergency and proves herself reliable under pressure. This is, in part, due to her overwhelming strength, which can be needed to suddenly stop or accelerate the train on short notice. Thus, she is most known for tossing off her jacket, revealing her glorious muscles, and yanking hard on the train's controls. She is truly an iron goddess, earning my adoration for that alone. But she's also very loyal to her crew and mission, willing to jump into danger when necessary. Our last muscle girl is as obvious as it gets, Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan. Without any incredible spoilers, I can safely say she's one of the last living Japanese on Paradise Island. Because of this, she was abducted by human traffickers and was only able to escape after the young boy Eren Yeager told her to stand up and fight for herself. After that incident, she stayed with Eren's family, growing up to be very protective of him. It's obvious she's in love, and in addition, she cherishes her friendship with Armin. When Titans broke through Wall Maria, she followed Eren in joining the Survey Corps. For Eren's sake, she trains to become as strong as possible, but as part of a larger group, she is often forced to suppress her profound emotions for the sake of the greater good. She knows what's important to her, and she makes damn sure to fight for it, which is why she's so beloved as an anime badass. So there you have it, 31 of the most amazing, appealing, and incredible muscle-bound women anime has to offer. With a list like this, it's obvious that you'll have examples I didn't include, and that's exactly what the comment section is for. Which of these waifu are your favorites? And which ones do you think deserve to be on this list that I didn't mention? Let's celebrate in the comments below!
Before I go ahead and roll the credits, I want to give a vocal shout out to all my $10 plus supporters. Video Gamer 75, Samuel Gersten, Stephen Elak, Jens Bauman, RNG Shuffles 1498, Josh, and SF Giants fan Mike. Thank you all so much. Thanks for watching.
If you enjoy this channel, help us grow by liking, commenting, sharing the video, subscribing to Otaku Daikun, and
most of all, smashing that notification bell so you don't miss out on all of our anime discussion, lore, or Let's Play content.
You can support us directly through Patreon, Subscribestar, or our YouTube membership, all of which come with benefits like exclusive vids and early access.
As always,
celebrate your fandom!